The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
I have come back from Thanksgiving to kick ass and eat leftovers. And I'm all out of leftovers, thanks to this chick. So DC is back with another creative abortion. This time it's called The Daughter of Starfire, and it's about as dumb as it sounds. Well, here's the story. The press release officially. From New York Times best-selling author Mariko Tamaki and the artist Yoshi Yoshitani comes the story about Mandy, the daughter of a super famous superhero, Starfire, and her desperate attempts to get out from under her shadow. Mandy korriand'r is not her mother, daughter of Starfire and high school outcast. Mandy is constantly trying to get out from under the shadow of her bright, bubbly, scantily clad, and famous mother. Dyeing her bright orange hair black and sticking to her closest friend Lincoln, Mandy spends her days at school avoiding Teen Titans superfans and hide her feelings for the gorgeous, popular, and perfect Claire.
Claire?
Claire, it's a family name.
Oh, it's a fat girl's name.
And while Mandy usually avoids spending too much time with her alien mother, she's been particularly quiet as she's keeping one major secret from her. Mandy walked out of her SAT. Uh-oh. She doesn't look too happy. She must be using Brand X. While Mandy continues to tell Lincoln her plans of moving to France to escape her family's spotlight and not go to college, she secretly hides her fear of not knowing her identity outside of just being the daughter of a superhero and who she will become. Let me just stop right there. Isn't it awesome that her angst and her fears are realized in the real world because nobody gives a shit about her? Nobody gives a shit about this character? I love when art imitates life. DC, you really know what you're doing. But there's more. When someone from Starfire's past comes to disrupt Mandy's future, Mandy must finally make a choice. Give up before the battle has even begun, or step into the unknown and risk everything. I'm risking a lot just by reading this right now. This is such an empowering story. I can't even find the word. I cannot even fathom a reason not to like it. Oh yeah, there's one. So before anyone goes out there and says you can't judge a book by its cover, and you accurately can in this day and age, this is the year of Be Negative, the emo vampire, and Screen Time, the internet gas boy over at Marvel, and Gotham High from DC. So it's not unfair to realize that this is one of those stories. What are those kind of stories? Well, they're the kind of story not for comic fans, from a comic book publisher that features DC comic characters. You see the disconnect? Comics have been downgraded to a stepping stone for the rest of the entertainment world. Got a shitty idea for a TV show? Get your start in comics. Want to create the next forgettable film on Netflix? Get your start in comics. Want to make it to the top of the industry without sleeping your way there? Get your start in comics. Comics, where entertainment goes to live and die simultaneously. Comics like this don't work because they don't pay attention to the lore. Now you may be thinking to yourself, lore? Who gives a shit about lore? You give a shit about lore. Every time you pick up the continuing adventures of a superhero, play a video game, or watch any movie that has a sequel, you're deep into the lore already, and you didn't even know it. Lore has another, longer, yet easier word to handle: continuity. Yes, continuity, the bane capital of any comic book publisher. Why? Because it means they have to follow a story, and they don't get to make up some random shit because it seems cool or trendy. That's what this story is, some random bullshit. But sadly, for DC, it's not cool, and it's definitely not trendy. This book is the antithesis of cool. You want Batman? Nah, fuck Batman, he's not cool. The daughter of Starlight, Diabeta, is. No, she isn't. This book is trying too hard to be socially conscious. For some reason, there's an obsession with making superhero worlds more like ours by populating it with misanthropic weirdos with image issues. I'll give this book credit. At least Mandy. At least Mandy looks like a real person with real proportions, unlike Trailblazer, who was shaped like the adipose from Doctor Who. Outside of looking dumb, this book causes a major problem that's facing the comic book industry: whitewashing. Yes, DC is responsible for wiping out a strong woman of color from the DC lineup. Starfire, the most effective shield since Captain America, has found new popularity in light of the groundbreaking series Titans over on the DC Universe app. Fans cannot stop talking about her and how badly she was cast. Now fans will be able to talk about how racist DC is by making Starfire's heir a generic white girl? Shame. So yeah, this is supposed to spawn from this. So unless the father is the clown from Spawn, then he got the short end of the genetic stick. I know this isn't an episode of Maury, but I'm still questioning who the father is for one simple possibility: Uncle Batman. So for most, when they think of the Titans, they think of the Teen Titans, the good animated series with the kick-ass theme song and the great characters, the heroes you know to call when there's trouble, not the mentally challenged show that's on non-stop. In the Good Titans show, and most of Teen Titans lore, Starfire has a thing with Robin. Yes, that Robin, Word of Batman. When I first saw this image, my initial thought was, how the hell did Robin father that? Where are you, dude? Then I read the press release, and I thought, how did Starfire mother that? What the fuck, DC? You racist mother. They really need to fix online censorship. I'm going to ask the question I find myself asking after every Simple Jack level announcement from a comic book publisher. Who is this for? Comics aren't for comics fans. They don't want us. After decades and decades of supporting the industry, they don't want our money anymore. That's fine. We're watching them suffer. Just look at the numbers. I know to some it may feel like a preemptive victory lap for whatever the hell this book is called, but history does tend to repeat itself with these crappy ideals shoved into comics. What the hell is this story even about again? A story about a mother-daughter relationship, embracing where you come from, and finding your own identity, and learning to be unafraid of failing, even if it was failing in the first place. Aww, this sounds like an episode of Full House. Bless your heart. Folks, this is a story about an angsty kid with a famous parent. That's a new amazing trope. Not. Any Ozzy Osbourne fans out there? If you don't know who he is, Ozzy Osbourne is one of the all-time greats. A living legend, if you will. He sold out venues from every corner of the globe. When you talk about Ozzy, you're not only talking about a rock god, but a music icon who can stand toe-to-toe with the greats from any genre, from any era. Then there's Kelly Osbourne, who covered a Madonna song 19 years ago and hasn't done shit since. Who has the cooler stories? A rock star who's traveled the globe and drugged himself retarded, or his daughter who did that one thing nearly 2 decades ago? You decide. Same goes for Madonna. Do you care what her daughter is up to? Neither do I. I also don't care about Madonna herself. Fried fish, anyone? Chick is a robot. Hell, we could even take it one step further. Cher. Does anyone care about Cher? Nope. Not touching that one. Neither are you. So what I'm getting at is, you don't care what the offspring of your favorite actors or musicians are up to. So why would you care about the life of Mandy Korriand'r, the daughter of a B-list hero who doesn't even save the day? Spoiler alert, we don't. You don't have to throw out phrases like SJW or anything as restrictive to describe I Am Not Starfire, not because they're not apt, but because they're not fun. I want something harsher, more biting, something that makes you go, damn. Taking the high ground doesn't have to be boring. Look at Obi-Wan Kenobi. He had the high ground and, well, shit. If only this book was Anakin, it'd be burning up the charts. We're decades removed from comic greatness, but the next big hit could be right around the corner. So make sure you're signed up for the second printing of our comic, Stealing Solo, with an amazing Fandom Menace cover painted by Anna, that Star Wars girl. Link in the description. Don't miss out like last time because we won't be doing this one again. Comic books are an incredible vessel that can carry any type of story. But no matter how well-meaning this story is or the identity of the creators are, a vessel with shit in it is still shit. That's why when the inevitable I Am Not Starfire miniseries comes to HBO Max, I hope Amber Heard plays the titular role. Why? Because no matter what happens, this project will shit the bed. Amber Heard will just help speed up the process. So what do you guys think of this? We're back from Thanksgiving. We wanted to talk about something, but this was too big not to cover. Yes, pun intended. So tell me what you guys think of I Am Not Starfire. Full transparency, I kept saying I am not Starlight because I am more interested in The Boys because The Boys does superheroing better than DC. Yeah, I said it. The Seven is more interesting than the Justice League currently. Same thing for Marvel. I'd rather watch The Boys or The Tick or any other comic book adaptation than whatever else they're going to be pumping out. The MCU ended. It was a great way to end it, but everything comes to an end. You don't want to be that guy that peaked in high school and shows up to the party with other high schoolers while you're still 40, are you? You don't want to be that dude. That's what Marvel feels like right now. That's what DC feels like right now. Remember Steve Buscemi and whatever show that is, Hey Fellow Kids? That's what DC is right now. All of these shows, all this type of entertainment is really dumb because it's trying to be that. There's this imposter syndrome where the audience is aware of what an imposter is. We're aware of the bullshit. We can see through the lies and the deceit. We're not dumb. Publishing companies like DC and Marvel that want to make crap like this think we are because they treat us like that. That's why we know how they feel about us. So I don't think being adverse to this is reactionary or anything negative that people in the comments want to say, because this year has proven that every big press release comic book from Marvel and DC is a big old bucket of ass. Not worthwhile to anybody. So just dump that shit and flush it and let's move on. DC, you're the house of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, Aquaman, and countless other great superheroes. Why don't you get your house in order before you go jumping the gun and make new ridiculous characters like this? Mandy Korriand'r, no one gives a shit. That ain't gonna put butts in seats. But a good Superman movie, that's gonna change the world. So folks, I'm gonna get on out of here. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Let me know down in the comments below if you did have a nice Thanksgiving. And on top of that, come back Thursday night and tell us in person. We'll be having a big show, be covering all the big topics, Mandalorian, Star Wars, Ahsoka Tano, what the hell happened there? Bo-Katan, There's a lot going on in the world of Star Wars and geek culture and pop culture in general, so don't miss out on anything we put out. I'll be back on Thursday with another long-form video, but until then, I'm going to be dropping some clips from the podcasts to whet your appetite for what's to come. So do not miss out on anything from World Class Bullshitters. Sign up for the comic book. The link is in the description below. You guys can join the mailing list for that. There's a Day 1 High Council exclusive with the OG members, Ethan, Jeremy, myself. It's an amazing cover, and you're going to only have one chance to get it one day. So when we make the official announcement of when we're launching, we'll let you guys know. So just sign up for the email list so you do not miss out on that. So folks, I'm going to take myself out of here. I'm going to go read some decent comic books. Some good comic books. Some great ones, actually. Picked up some Chris Claremont stuff recently. So Chris Claremont, X-Men, name a better combination. I'll wait. So folks, thank you for watching. Hopefully you're not in a food coma still, but if you are, be safe, be smart, be cool, but always be excellent to each other.